Health Watch this morning, straight talk about smartphones, and Nielsen Company says about 44% of Americans now own smartphones. Just 2 years ago, it was only 18%.
Smartphones help us connect with the world, even with those we love. CBS This Morning, though, contributor Lee Woodruff found out we may actually be bending a little too much to accommodate them.
You've been doing your exercises, right?
For the last decade, 24-year-old Barry Weisler has been visiting orthopedic surgeon Alton Barron for a variety of joint and muscle issues.
10 years ago, when I was 14, I was experiencing symptoms of carpal tunnel syndrome.
But it's her latest ailment that has Dr. Barron most concerned.
I started using the iPhone and discovered that I was having tightness in my shoulder and pain radiating from the shoulder all the way down the forearm to my fingers.
Sound familiar? It's no surprise. Those hours spent hunched over our iPhones and BlackBerries are wreaking havoc on our posture.
Rise of smartphones, rise of BlackBerries, all this stuff. Can you sort of explain the syndrome?
I think you could, you might describe it better as the fall of the smartphones, because it's the fall of our bodies as a result of that. You've got gravity working down on your head this way.
Dr. Barron is seeing an increase in posture-related issues, which he attributes to the use of smartphones.
We are straining our muscles both in our necks and our upper backs and our shoulders to accommodate for this position, and then we spend so long doing it.
The average human head weighs about 10 pounds. According to the physiology of the joints, for every inch forward, the strain on the neck increases tenfold. Hunching 3 inches forward is like adding an extra 30 pounds.
As an orthopedic surgeon who deals with this, it scares me to death. We are losing our physicality and our bodies are paying a heavy toll. You put the sign up where I told you to put up, where it says sit up straight.
It's a lesson he preaches not only to his patients in the exam room, but also at home. His daughter Chloe, a college freshman, spends hours a day on her phone.
My dad has been badgering me throughout my entire adolescence about my posture, which had definitely gotten worse since I had obtained cell phones.
Dr. Barron believes there's a simple cure for the problems associated with this new phenomenon.
Get outside, start moving. Arms above the horizontal like this.
Light exercise, he says, can work wonders for poor posture.
Do a good neck roll to really loosen that up. It takes a couple of exercises and an awareness of it and a belief that you're actually at risk for these problems perpetuating for the rest of your life if you don't address it now.
Lee Woodruff is with us now. Good morning. Great to have you back.
We're all sitting up a little
Indeed,
straighter.
we're thinking about it this way, aren't we? Yeah. So people are not going to move away from their smartphones. So what do they do?
So we do a couple of quick things. We confine it to particular times. We don't stay on it at all times. And then we step away and do some of those exercises. Another thing, one of those big inflatable exercise balls, you just roll back against it a couple times a day and it just reverses the effects.
You say some of this too has to do with our posture, right, or lack thereof, actually.
Yeah. Right, and one of the interesting things that Dr. Barron said to me is two things are happening. We no longer have the draft, so young men were taught to stand up straight. And in our gym classes in the olden days when girls did a lot more dance and things, we also had posture drilled into our heads, and I remember that as a child. I'm that old.
So this, no, you're not. This is now a memo to parents.
Yes, a memo
Start
to
them
parents.
early.
Start them early, and there's another part of this we don't have time to get into, but it's the social part. Our children are learning to sit at a dinner table or out at a restaurant talking to other people on their devices, and that is another part of the reason. Not only are we bent, but we're drawing everything inward, and we need to sort of open it all up again.
Which you know speaks to a broader issue too. I mean, I know it may not be about the neck, but the fact that people really don't seem to talk to each other as much anymore, which has a separate implication, as you pointed out. Maybe not time to get into today, but separate implications.
It's like looking at the two older people at the end of their marriage at Denny's not talking.
Saying
but
nothing.
Now they're 18 and they're on their devices.
You go to restaurants in New York City and there'll be 4 people there and they're all doing something.
It's so sad to me.
Did you hear about this new game? It's a game, quote unquote. It was an article the other day where people will take their smartphones and you stack them on the table at dinner, and the point is to not look at it. So the first person who can no longer resist the blinking light and picks it up, picks up the entire tab.
There you go.
I love that game. Do that at my dinner table.
There you go. We'll try it. Lee, nice to
Thank
see you
you.
this
Great
morning.
to see you.
Thank
See you
you.
too.